Build a life you don't need motivation to escape from. My friends, I want to tell you a story today, a story about a young man I once met who taught me one of the greatest lessons of my life. This young man was always chasing motivation. Every morning he would wake up and search for the newest inspiring video, the loudest speech, the strongest push. He needed fire just to get out of bed. He lived on motivation like it was oxygen. But the moment the video ended and the sound faded, the fire inside him died down again. One day he told me, "Sir, I don't know what's wrong with me. I want to be successful, I want to be disciplined, but I can't stay motivated long enough to make any real change." I looked at him and said, maybe the problem is not your motivation. Maybe the problem is the life you've built around yourself. Because if your life drains you, pulls you down, suffocates your spirit, then no amount of motivation will save you. You don't need more videos. You need a new environment, a new routine, a new direction. What you need is a life you don't want to escape from. He sat quietly thinking, and then he asked, "How do you build that kind of life?" So I told him a truth most people never hear. The life you dream of is not built in one night of motivation. It's built in thousands of small decisions that quietly shape your future. Most people want to change their life, but they want to do it while keeping the same habits, the same surroundings, the same people who drain their energy. And then they wonder why they feel stuck. Let me share something with you. The life you have today is not an accident. It is the harvest of what you planted yesterday. Some people plant excuses and they harvest regret. Some plant laziness and they harvest disappointment. But a few, a very small percentage, plant discipline, plant good habits, plant courage, plant effort, and they harvest a life they're proud to wake up to every morning. I once told a young man, "Your life is like a garden. If you don't plant what you want, weeds will plant themselves." He said, "Sir, I think I've been living in a garden full of weeds." I told him, "Then it's time to pick up the tools, clean out the ground, and plant something better." Don't wait for motivation. Motivation is a visitor. It comes and goes. Build systems, build habits, build environments that keep you growing even on days when motivation is nowhere to be found. You see, there are 3 areas you must rebuild if you want a life you don't want to run away from. First, rebuild your daily routine. Your routine determines your direction. Your direction determines your future. A routine built on chaos creates stress. A routine built on discipline creates confidence. You don't need a massive change. You just need to start with one solid habit. Wake up earlier, read 10 pages, exercise for 20 minutes, plan your day, clean your workspace. Small habits build strong foundations. Second, rebuild your environment. The young man told me he wanted to succeed, but he lived in a room filled with noise, clutter, distractions, and people who laughed at his dreams. I told him, "My friend, you cannot build $1 million life in a $1 environment." He cleaned his room, put up goals on his wall, removed distractions, changed the music he listened to, changed the voices he allowed into his mind. And slowly he started to feel different, not because motivation changed him, but because his environment supported him. Third, rebuild your identity. This is the most powerful one. You will never rise above the story you tell yourself about yourself. If you keep telling yourself you are lazy, you will act lazy. If you tell yourself you are inconsistent, you will behave inconsistently. But the moment you start telling yourself, "I am a builder, I am a disciplined person, I am someone who creates my own future," everything begins to shift. Identity shapes behavior more than motivation ever will. Months later, the young man came back. He looked different, more grounded, more confident, more in control of himself. He said, "Sir, something strange is happening. I don't watch motivation videos every day anymore." I laughed and said, "That is not strange. That is the result. You don't need motivation when your life itself inspires you." He told me, "I wake up and feel excited. I work on my goals because I want to, not because I'm forcing myself." And I said, exactly. When you build the right life, discipline becomes natural, effort becomes enjoyable, and your dreams feel possible. Let me tell you something important, something I want you to carry with you. The goal is not to feel motivated every day. The goal is to build a life you don't want to break from. A life where your work has meaning, your habits are aligned with your values, your environment supports your growth, and your identity matches the future you are chasing. Don't settle for a life that drains you. Don't settle for a routine that makes you hate the morning. Don't settle for a direction that goes nowhere. You have the power right now to rebuild, to redesign, to restart. If you don't like the life you're living, you can build a new one, brick by brick, habit by habit, choice by choice. And one day, just like that young man, you will wake up and realize, "I don't need motivation because I built a life worth living." Don't rely on motivation to escape a life that doesn't fulfill you. Instead, build a life with meaningful habits, supportive environments, and a strong identity, so you no longer need motivation just to survive, but feel inspired simply by the life you're living.